In studio, we heard from Intellidex there, not very kind words, not very good reception to that speech, while it was a little bit more glowing at home.
No, I don't think it was across all the quarters here at home where it was a glowy speech. As I said, I think there was more concerns out of this budget than there was positive stuff that came out of it. And I think if you want to see the quality or the value of the speech, you just have to look at what the RAND did during that speech. The disclosure in terms of where the debt to GDP has gone is a concern, and the fact that we're reducing our growth numbers from 1.5 to 0.7%, it means we are admitting that things are really tough out there, projecting a lower growth trajectory for the economy. And the fact that, you've got little things in there stuck away that speak to, the road accident fund possibly needing more funding, and we know where that funding usually comes from. For fuel levy, we're already complaining about high fuel prices in the country. There's no way, in my view, that this budget could be taken, at least for now. Let's see what the main budget in February is going to look like. But this budget does not paint a very glossy picture of our economy. And this is a sign that we are really going through a very difficult time. And, if people find themselves being called into meetings at work and being told, listen, we're terminating your contract, it's just the nature of the current environment we are living under. There's a lot of sectors that are under pressure. We see mining, you see gold mining dropping by double digits on a quarterly basis. That just shows you that the economy is not doing that well. In a world that is growing at 3.5% in terms of GDP on average, we are going to grow at 0.7%. It's going to be very hard, in my view, to convince people to come and invest in the country, given this kind of growth rate that we have. But we need that money to come in so that the growth rate could start to get pushed higher.
I'm glad you brought that up, and very briefly as we continue our conversation, the gentleman from Intellidex spoke about Ramaphoria not materializing. There is also a sense of euphoria around Tito Mboweni, his experience as a governor, his experience as a Labour minister, as well as working in the private sector. So could we get another shock next year when also that doesn't materialize and he doesn't bring out the magic that people are expecting? One, and two, investment summits are starting tomorrow. Are we going to get that closer to that 1.2, 1.4 trillion rand that we need to grow this economy?
Yeah, it's going to take a long time for us to get that money to be committed, firstly, and to come into the country to get invested. But one does hope that the IDC, working together with the government and the Department of International Relations, has done a good job enough to attract the right people to come and listen to what South Africa as a country is selling to foreign investors and to local investors as well, mind you, Kunta, because we are sitting on more than 700 billion rands in money in South Africa that's not been invested. That's just sitting as cash, waiting for a little bit more certainty out of the policymakers. And Tito Mboweni did mention that in today's speech, that we need more policy certainty. If he delivers for us consistency in his message over the next 6 months, and going into the budget, the main budget, if he's consistent, if the things he's spoken about, saying we need to relook at, or rather reconfigure the government employee numbers, if there is something done around that, we will take. And then if it does actually reduce the number of ministries out there, he hinted to saying that an optimal number will be anything between 20 and 25 from the current 33 odd ministries that exist. If it does achieve that, he's then talking to a world that can start to listen to him, and is then going to be, in my view, achieving those milestones that the world can start ticking and saying, at least South Africa is now actually acting instead of just talking.
We're bringing you continual analysis of the medium-term budget policy statement that was delivered by Finance Minister Tito Mboweni today. That's Owen Nkomo from Inkunzi Wealth speaking to us there. Now, the RAND